Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm gonna be creating this very simple but amazing and very effective CSS animation. So if you're looking to brush up on your CSS skills, this is the perfect tutorial for you. So let's not waste any more time and let's just jump in. We're just gonna use HTML and CSS. So let's go.
Code with Sloba.
Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm gonna be using CodePen. And the first thing which I wanna create is I want to create HTML for our flag, obviously. So let's create a div and let's close this div. And obviously we wanna add a class. So this is gonna be a flag. And how we wanna look at our flag is as a table. And we're just gonna have columns and we're just gonna move the columns up and down. And for every next column, we're just gonna add a slight animation delay. So we're gonna get that wavy, nice effect, animation effect. And inside of this div, let's add another div. Let's close it and let's add a class. So the more we have these internal divs, the pieces of the flag are gonna be the smaller. So let's just start off with, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them for now. And then we can increase and decrease so you can see what is the difference, and you can get different effects depending on how many columns you have. So now let's first apply some styles to our flag. Here I'm going to be creating Serbia country flag, so I want to add some styles to our body so we can differentiate what is the flag, because on Serbia flag we have white color. So I'm going to add background light gray. And I want to add some margin so the flag is not on the edges. So let's add just 50 pixels so it's just slightly, off. Now let's target a flag and let's set the flag to have the width of 200 pixels and let's set the height to be 133 pixels, like so. And I want to set it display to flex because I want all the columns to be in a row, right? So let's set the display to flex. And now we cannot see anything because we haven't added any colors. So let's do that. So let's target the column, and let's set the width for each column to be 100%. And using the flex, it's just gonna separate them equally. Now let's use the background, and we're gonna use linear gradient. So we're gonna have 3 colors: linear dash gradient. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create this gradient to go to bottom. So from top to bottom, like so. And now we're gonna use HSL to target our colors. And for Serbia, the top one is the red. So we're gonna use, and don't ask me how I got these numbers. So just, choose the ones that you're gonna use for your flag. So 357.5 degrees, and then 57.14%, and then 49.41%. And then what we are going to do is basically, as we're going to have 3 colors, the first color is going to go from 0%, so from start, to 33%, so which is like a third of the flag. So 33.3%. Then we're going to copy this 3 times and we're just going to change the positions. So for the second color, now you can see we only have this red color. So for the second color, it's going to start from this position actually, and it's going to end up to 66.7. And the last color is going to go from 66, which is white. The second one is blue and the last one is white. So just a second to turn on, to plug in the laptop. And the last one is going to go from 66.7 to 100%. So the last one is white. The second one is blue and the last one is white. So for the last one, let's fill it in. So it's from 0 degrees to 0%. And here is 100%. And that's how we format the white color with HSL. And now for the actual blue, 210.57 degrees, 81.54%, and the last one is 25.49%. This is the most boring part of the tutorial, but this is how we create this nice gradient and we get our flag. Nice. Now what I want to do is smooth the edges, or actually add the border radius to our flag. So what we need to do is we need to target the first and the last column. So we can use actually the CSS preprocessor for that. So let's go to the settings, and for the CSS let's use SCSS preprocessor. So it's actually, we can use nesting. Let me just see if we saved it on the settings. Yes, save and close. That didn't work. Okay, now it worked. So let's just resize this, and inside of our column let's target the first child. So let's target first child, and let's set border top left radius to, let's say, 8 pixels, and let's just set overflow to hidden. Let's see if that works. We forgot here to close here, and now we can indent this one, and okay, we got the border radius on top, so let's add the border radius on the bottom, border bottom left radius, and we should get that one as well, and we can copy this for the last child as well. First child, let's add the last child, and let's add on the right, and here on the right as well. So now we have this flag being nice and rounded. Okay, cool. Okay, the next thing which we can do is actually create our animation. So let's do that. We're gonna use the keyframes, and let's name our animation as up down, because we're just gonna move the columns up and down, and that's all we're gonna do. So we're gonna create from, and we're gonna use transform from translate y, and let's use 8 pixels. So we're gonna go up 8 pixels, and then we're gonna go to, let's just copy paste this line from to, and we're just gonna move to -8 pixels here. Cool. And now we can use our animation here in the column div. So let's call the animation, and we're gonna use the animation that we just created, up and down, and we're gonna add duration to 500 milliseconds, and we're gonna set infinite. So it's gonna repeat over and over again. And actually nothing is happening, and that's because here we have transform we need to use. So we have a typo, transform, like so. Okay, and now we have this very weird animation, which is like flickering up and down. So, but what we want to do here is actually want to add a couple more properties to make this better. So first thing which I want to do actually is let's add some animation delay for every single column that we have. So if we open up our HTML file here, you can see that we have 6 columns. So let's add some delay to every single column. So we're gonna use for loop of CSS here, SCSS actually. So we're gonna use for loop, and we're gonna go from, we're actually gonna use the I variable, and we're gonna go from 1 through 20, let's say. It doesn't matter, you can use whatever you want. And then let's just target the column, and we're gonna target every next child of the column. So child, and here we're gonna use this index that we just created, and for every single next column we're just gonna add slightly bigger animation delay. So what it will create, let me just show you. So we're just gonna add animation dash delay, and we're just gonna use this variable that we use, and we're gonna increase the 100 milliseconds for it. Now let's save this, and let me show you what it happens. So you can see for every single element that we have, every single column, we have this slight animation, but this looks too jittery, right? So we need to add a couple more properties in order to make this much more smoother and nicer. because this is too flickery, let's add animation direction. So animation direction, and we want to add alternate, so it goes it doesn't flicker when it gets to the end of the animation. Alternate, like so. So now let's see what we get it. So you can see now we have this much nicer effect, but we can make it much more smoother. We can add easing. So let's add animation timing function, and let's add ease in dash out. So this should make it much more smoother, even smoother. And as you can see now, it looks fine. The only problem is it has, once you actually reload, let me just reload the page. That initial, as you can see, that initial animation doesn't look correct. So we can add a fix for that as well. So add animation fill dash mode, and let's add backwards, like so. And now the initial animation also should be looking nice. Now, as you can see, we have completed our animation. The only thing which we can test now is we can see how it looks like when we increase the number of columns. So let's just, for the test, let's remove them and let's just leave 2 of them. So you can see the flag is just made out of 2 pieces, and this doesn't look very nice. But as you increase the number of columns, the actual parts of the flag are smaller, and the animation looks more detailed, let's say. So we actually added the styles to the 20 items, and let me just copy a little bit more so you can see how small it can be, like so. And if we inspect HTML, and let me show you what we added using this for loop. So as you can see, for the first item, we are adding animation delay to 100 milliseconds. For the second one, we're adding 200 milliseconds. For the third one, 300 milliseconds, and so forth. So that is what we're doing with this for loop. So for every next item, we're just adding more animations. And that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something new, and leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye bye. And if you want to support my channel and get a full source code of every single video that I'm doing, feel free to check out patreon.com/codewithsloba to get full access. See you there.
Well, that's all for this video.
And thanks for stopping by.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Code with Sloba.
Thank you for watching the entire video. To see more videos like this, click here.